Hey you guys, back again. Another very short video lecture here. I have 4 supporting video links that definitely need to be watched or played. So if the sub is playing this, then he or she should definitely click into those 4 links and let you guys watch those videos. If you are absent and are doing this on your own, please make sure that you guys are watching those. They very much illustrate the topics in this lecture video. So I want to talk about intra versus intermolecular forces. So forces are attractions, don't forget about that. Intra means within, inter means between. So intra are forces within molecules or compounds. These forces are going to hold atoms together. So we've talked about ionic, covalent, and metallic. All of these are intramolecular forces. Here's a good example. This guy is a covalent bond. This is a force or an attraction, okay, within the molecule. Okay, this force is within the molecule. Inter means between, so these are going to be attractions between molecules, between different molecules. So over here, this is a good illustration. This is a water molecule. This guy's a water molecule. If you guys remember, water molecules have they're polar molecules, so they have a partially positive and they have a partially negative side. Okay, so like I was saying, if you guys remember, water molecules are polar molecules. So what happens, just real quick here, if you guys remember, hydrogen is going to have a partially positive end, and the oxygen is going to have the partially negative end. This makes water have what we call a dipole. All a dipole is when a molecule has a partially positive, partially negative end. So this molecule is going to have a negative side, and these two hydrogen are going to be positive. So intermolecular forces, there's 3 different types of intermolecular forces we're going to talk about. The first one is called a dipole-dipole force. Okay, again, these are forces that are going to be found between molecules. If hydrogen is involved, then we call it a hydrogen bond. So it's a type of dipole force that involves the element hydrogen, aka hydrogen bonds, and another fairly electronegative element. Here's an example, hydrogen fluoride. So dipole-dipole forces is a bond that looks just like this. Okay, it's a force or attraction between 2 polar molecules. But what we usually do, if hydrogen isn't involved, we would just call it a dipole-dipole force. If hydrogen is involved, we call it a hydrogen bond. Super easy concept. It's just that attraction or that bond that is found between polar molecules. Okay. Let's move on to, here's an example of a hydrogen bond right here. Here's an example of a hydrogen bond right here. They're actually pretty strong bonds. Intermolecular forces are definitely weaker than intramolecular forces, but that hydrogen bond is actually pretty strong, and it actually dictates a lot of the properties of water. That hydrogen bond, for instance, when you freeze water, the hydrogen bonds spread out and making the solid form of H2O less dense than the liquid, and so ice is going to float to the top of your glass of water. That's just one. Okay, so 3 types of intermolecular forces. Dipole-dipole forces, okay, again, it is an attraction between 2 polar molecules. Hydrogen doesn't have to be involved. This could be fluorine. Hydrogen bonds, this dipole-dipole attraction, but hydrogen has to be involved. This guy is probably the most polar molecule or most famous polar molecule ever. Our 3rd type of intermolecular force, they're called London dispersion forces. Okay, they're also known as van der Waals forces. these are weak attractions found between nonpolar molecules. So if you remember, nonpolar typically is not going to have a positive and negative side to it. The electrons are shared equally, or the molecule has all its polar bonds distributed equally, and so it's a nonpolar molecule. So what happens is in nonpolar molecules, sometimes there's an uneven distribution of electrons because the electrons move around very randomly. Sometimes you're going to find all of the electrons on one side, and the other side of the atom or the molecule is going to be short of electrons. So what happens if you have two different molecules, okay, and they all of a sudden have what we call a dipole moment? What happens is there happens to be an attraction. So take these two atoms. The electrons are moving around. You can moving around. And then if the electrons just happen, okay, to end up on this side all at once, okay, this side of the molecule turns out to be partially negative, and this side turns out to be partially positive. And this can happen just like between two atoms to make a molecule, or it could happen between two molecules. So if the electrons are flying around and they all of a sudden just happens to conglomerate over here, this side of the atom or the molecule becomes just a little partially negative, this side becomes partially positive. Well, if it's sitting next to another atom that is having a dipole moment itself, so if the electrons are floating around and the electrons happen to be on this side of the atom or the molecule becomes positive. So they just have this, all of a sudden, this temporary, we call it a temporary dipole moment. They have this temporary attraction to one another. And this happens very much with the halogens and with the noble gases, believe it or not. So sometimes those noble gas atoms are actually attracted to one another, and that's through these London dispersion forces. Okay, so it's an intermolecular, so it's between different atoms or between different molecules. And this is quite weak. This is definitely a lot weaker than your dipole forces or your hydrogen bonds. But yeah, it's just a distribution of electron issue, basically. Also, the more electrons that you have, the stronger the pull you're going to have. So more negative charges you have as the atom gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you end up with more and more electrons, the attraction, that dipole or the London dispersion force, actually gets stronger and stronger. So as you go down a group, in group 17 and group 18, the boiling points and the melting points actually get higher and higher, and that's because your London dispersion forces get stronger and stronger. Okay, ladies and gents, make sure that you watch all 4 of these video links. They will conclude the chapter. You are officially done with chapter 6 and 7, so you can have a big ol' happy cheer right now. And I will be back for you guys on Tuesday. We'll play some bingo. Make sure you finish your molecular geometry lab. Need to print that stuff in color. I will give the office a heads up that you guys will need to pop in there and print things up. If you can't get it done, you can have a little bit of time on Tuesday, but not much, because I do plan on you guys starting a gizmo today. No bell work today, so you should have loads of time to get loads of stuff done. Take care. See you soon. Bye.